talking about. So super excited about that. But at first, what we're going to do today is we're going to talk about the book, Who Moved My Cheese? One of my favorite books when it comes to business, because it talks about how change is inevitable. And what we have to look at is everything is going to change, so we can't get stagnant. So before we get into today's training, I just want to ask you guys a simple question that you can answer to yourself. But the question is, what do you do in life when cheese moves, right? And the cheese can be all different types of things: your money, your job, your security. So when you're depending on changes, when your job shifts, when the economy feels shaky like how it feels right now, when the opportunity that you thought was solid suddenly disappears, most people freeze, right? They stay where they are hoping that things magically go back to normal. But here's the truth: I want you to feel this morning, and I want you to understand that the cheese always moves. The world always changes. We all know that, right? And the people who win are the ones who adapt, pivot, and bet on themselves. So that's what this whole week about is: you guys betting on yourself, you guys saying, hey, I'm not just going to focus on the S&P 500. I'm going to focus on the SME 500 so that I can get myself to where I want to go. So that's one of the main reasons why I picked the book, Who Moved My Cheese, for today's morning motivation, because the whole book, guys, is about one powerful message. And that powerful message: if you don't move with your goals will move away from you all. And I know some of you right now are in a season where maybe the job feels uncertain, income feels capped, where you're like, I'm working hard and I just feel like I can't get to where I need to get to. I can't get ahead. I don't have more time to work. So that's why we're talking about this week of how to multiply yourself digitally, right? So, you may be feeling stuck in a situation that you're in, and you know that there's more in you, but it's kind of scary to start, right? How do I take that leap? How do I get there? And I get it. Fear is real. Comfort is real. And staying in the same spot is familiar. So that's what we have to break. But I need you to hear me. Your breakthrough is never in the old cheese. So what's the old cheese? The old cheese is what was comfortable, what once was. We all probably had something earlier this year that was working that may not be working anymore. But your breakthrough is always going to be in the next move. So I see my people here that are feeling me right now. Are you guys tracking? Does that make sense? I want to say that one time. Your breakthrough is never in the old cheese. Your breakthrough is always in the next move. So the thing is, this is the season where betting on yourself is not optional anymore, and it's required. The world is shifting fast, and we know that, guys, and opportunities are shifting fast. And if you stay still, here's the issue that's wrong with that. If you stay still, you'll get left behind by people who are no more talented to you. Can you guys agree that the things that you're passionate about, that you're good at, that you're more talented than others, but you're just wondering what makes them be able to, get the spotlight? What makes them be able to have the authority and sell that product? So ultimately this week, my goal is to repackage every single one of you guys so that you guys can be the authority. So we're going to talk about today is what it looks like to pivot, what it looks like to adapt, and what it looks like to stop waiting for permission and start creating your own opportunity. I used to hear people always say like, hey, the economy may be bad, but you got to create your own economy. So what that means, and I've been a victim of it myself, is where things don't work out right and I just want to blame, and I say, well, the administration and the economy and this. But we have to understand that there's problems that have to be solved in your industries, things that you're passionate about, and you have the key to teach people that, and they will pay you for it. I promise you they will. Just like people who have bought VIPs, when you go to Home Depot and you buy something, whatever it is, when you go to the doctor to fix something, there's a problem that always has to be solved. So one thing I want you guys to focus on later tonight when we talk about offers is what pain point can I solve for my people, right? So if my life stayed exactly the same for the next 12 months, would I be okay with that? And if the answer is no, then today's the day that we start focusing our mind on how to move that forward. So today is the day that we're going to take back control, starting with this morning. Today's the day we stop complaining about where did the cheese go, right? Like, I used to have this many sales, I had this many customers, and then you just wonder where it goes. But we have to stop complaining about that and understand the playing field that we're at and how to pivot out of that and start walking toward our new blessings, the new income that's on the way, the new skill sets that we're about to develop over these 3 days and package, the new future that's waiting on us. So let's get into it. I'm gonna play a quick video, guys, to just kind of break down who moved my cheese for the people that don't know about. It's a video, a little short video that I made. So I'll play it and I'll be right back.
Hey Tony, what book are you
Oh
reading?
man, this is Who Moved My Cheese. It's an amazing way to deal with change in life and in the workplace. And what I like about this book is that it talks about what's uncomfortable to all of us, which is change, right? So there's four major lessons in this book. Lesson one, change is inevitable. So the more you complain about what's happened and what's not there anymore, it's not going to get you any further than where you are. Lesson number two, you got to anticipate change because it will happen and you don't want to be left behind when it does happen. Lesson number three, you have to monitor change. So whatever industry you're in, whatever market you're in, research what's going on. See if change is going to affect you sooner than later. And then lesson number four, adapt to change quickly. So when it does happen, you make sure you're not reactive, but you're proactive so that you're not stuck in the rut. But definitely check this book out, Who Moved My Cheese. It's super short. You could probably finish it in a day. All right, guys. So that was a quick breakdown. I'll play it a little bit later again. But ultimately, what I want to talk about is what this book is all about. It's one simple story about four characters who live in a maze. They eat cheese every single day. The cheese represents anything you want in life: income, opportunity, success, stability, confidence, growth, all of these things. The characters represent the different ways that people respond to change. And with those four characters, I'm just breaking it down so I can give you background. You have a character named Sniff. And I want you guys to say, which character am I? And Sniff, he notices change early. He pays attention. He's always scanning for what's next. Scurry, he doesn't overthink. Soon as change comes, he always runs into action and moves fast. But then we have him. He's afraid of change. He gets stuck. He complains, blames, and holds onto the old cheese even when it's gone. And then you have Haw, who is scared at first, just like him. And that may be how we are. We're scared to make a change at first. But eventually Haw decides, I can't stay here anymore. I have to make a different pivot. I have to make a change in order. Because like one of my friends, Neil, says, nothing changes if nothing changes. If you guys agree with that, put yes in the chat. So I want to say it again. Nothing changes if nothing changes. So Haw, he faces his fear, but he steps into the maze and then he finds new cheese. The big moment in our lives, but going to this story, is that one day, you know, the cheese that they all depend on, which could be your job, which could be like, you know, the deal that you have, whatever it is, one day it disappears. Sniff and Scurry immediately go look for that new cheese. They adapt, they move, they don't complain. But then you got like him and Haw. What did they do? They stayed behind. Him refuses to move. He thinks that the cheese will come back. He feels that it's his right that, you know, his cheese or his customers or his job treats him a certain way, or that he gets it, his comfort the way that he was used to. He gets angry, feels cheated and stuck. But then Haw realizes, if I don't change, I won't survive. He pushes past fear, steps back into the maze, and eventually finds more cheese than he ever imagined. So what does that represent? Sometimes where you're at right now, you may think that that's the best place for you. You may think that everything's good, but you don't even understand that the universe and God is changing things, that he may have made it uncomfortable. So you made that move. So you made that pivot. And even while you're walking, it may be uncomfortable. And you may be saying, you know, this is difficult. This isn't how I expected it to be. But ultimately, you don't even know that you're walking yourself into a new path that will be even better. So meanwhile, while him stays stuck in the exact same place with no cheese, waiting on a reality that's not coming back, that's not where we want to be. So the main lessons, guys, is that change is guaranteed. We have to understand that. Whatever is up must come down. And I know you guys believe that as well. And I've seen it so many times where I've seen people adapt to a new lifestyle or just get so comfortable. And then one day they get an email that this opportunity is over with, or they're going a different direction, and you're stuck because you didn't prepare. So that's why earlier when I said, don't be reactive, be proactive. Reactive is the day that the job leaves, you weren't prepared, you didn't have anything lined up, and now you're just on Indeed. But how many applications are they looking through before you ever get that call? So you guys have to all, and myself, I'm learning as well. This is my own challenge too, where I challenge myself as I'm teaching you guys. But we have to be proactive because we would almost be foolish to not think that change would happen. So how do we prepare ourselves? And if you don't move a change, I guarantee you get left behind, we get left behind. It's happened to me. I know it's happened to you. So we got to think about those things. And we know that fear keeps people in the same place. Fear of taking steps and moving forwards for new opportunities that only come to people who go looking for them. So in the Bible, what's it say? Faith without works is dead. So you got to make sure that the new opportunity doesn't just always fall in your lap. You have to be actively seeking it as well. And we know that your comfort zone will rob you if you let it. What do I mean by that? When we're just in our zone, just in comfort, everything's good and we're not proactively working on what's next. So we have to make sure that we're always growing, always learning. So that's why yesterday I said, is it okay if I challenge you? Is it okay if we grow a little bit, right? And by betting on yourself, the beautiful thing about that, guys, as you begin to bet on yourself, as you just increase that risk level a little bit more in life, right? Betting on yourself creates new cheese. I remember when I was pushed to do these virtual events, I was nervous to bet on myself because it cost a lot of marketing dollars to get everybody registered. But now what I look at it is so much better to be able to speak to your audience all at once and put on these events. So now I love doing these events, just being able to speak to people. But you have to bet on yourself. You have to increase the risk because that's what changes everything right there. So I see my people in here saying increase the risk level, right? Yep. So action beats overthinking every time. So that's what we have to think about. So the message for the audience that I want you guys to take is you can basically say, hey, I'm either him, I could be stuck in the old way, or I could be Ha, I could be willing to move toward the future. And today, I want you to choose Ha. I want you guys to be able to make that move. So I'm going to play the video one more time for the people that came in, and then we're going to go to the last part about this before I let you guys go to enjoy your day. So let's play this video.
Hey, Tony, what book are you reading?
Oh man, this is Who Moved My Cheese. It's an amazing way to deal with change in life and in the workplace. And what I like about this book is that it talks about what's uncomfortable to all of us, which is change, right? So there's 4 major lessons in this book. Lesson 1, change is inevitable. So the more you complain about what's happened and what's not there anymore, it's not going to get you any further than where you are. Lesson number 2, you got to anticipate change because it will happen and you don't want to be left behind when it does happen. Lesson number 3, you have to monitor change. So whatever industry you're in, whatever market you're in, research what's going on. See if change is going to affect you sooner than later. And then lesson number 4, adapt to change quickly. So when it does happen, you make sure you're not reactive, but you're proactive so that you're not stuck in the rut. But definitely check this book out, Who Moved My Cheese. It's super short. You could probably finish it in a day. So I see Lionel said that was quick, a really good read. The Who Moved My Cheese book, guys, is literally 100 pages. So I recommend anybody to check that out who's just trying to really go to that next level. But let's go over these few points before I let you guys go for the day. Let's talk about comfort, right? Comfort feels safe, but like I said, it's a trap. A lot of people stay stuck, not because their situation is good, but because it's familiar, right? Comfort feels safe, but it's the biggest thing that's holding us back. And we've all get to the point where, the job is great, money is great, and we just get comfortable until the one day that is not. And we could all probably agree that we got to be proactive. So comfort is where him stayed, but comfort is where dreams die. And when you really sit with that, it leads to something deeper. Let's talk about opportunities. Opportunities don't disappear. So a lot of times we're like, man, my opportunity left me, it's gone. No, they just relocated. So life didn't snatch that cheese away to punish you. It moved because the world moves. The people who win are the ones that are willing to go look for the next opportunity instead of sitting in the old one. And that's the moment when you have a choice. And like I said, opportunities don't disappear, they relocate. So a lot of times when everything is going great and then it changes, that's that call to grow. As long as we sit where we were in that comfort zone, what starts happening is we're just sitting there waiting. And then we're like, what happened? So you got to be willing to pivot, willing to move, be agile, right? Because you don't need perfect clarity. You just need the courage to start. And the good thing about faith, let's talk about faith. When you come to faith, we don't know what's on the other side, but we have to have faith to go. So if the inner side of you is telling you something, you're listening to this right now and it's saying, hey, it's time to move. That's that message that most of the time that it is. I remember when I was switching from doing e-commerce to get into this digital world, I was in the t-shirt world. And I just remember when everything was going great and then randomly it started crashing. And when it started crashing, it was probably uncomfortable for about 2 months. And then I had a friend invite me to a Circle of CEOs event here in Atlanta. And that event is what changed everything for me. It changed everything for me because it let me introduce to the people here that became my clients, that gave me my social proof, that gave me the leg up to get to the next level, that helped build me as Tuned and Tony, the funnel builder who I am today. But imagine if, even though that change was happening, that cheese was moving, my e-commerce business was failing after working for 5-6 years, it just started crashing and crashing. Employees started leaving. It just started going against the rut. It didn't make sense. But that was the change. And if I didn't say, hey, I'll go to this event with you that my friend invited me to, because I almost didn't want to go because I was like, I'm just not in the right mindset. But I showed up, and then that's where I met, the Will Riveras and my friend Justin Phillips and the Neo Davises and Deion Coopers, all of them, right? I met them all at that event, and that's what changed everything for me. So that's why I'm saying with you guys, we have to push forward. So going back to the characters, Ha didn't know where the new cheese was. He didn't have a full plan. He didn't have a map. He moved anyway, right? And the lesson is that you don't need the whole plan. You just need the first step. My biggest goal, I always tell people, is learn to fail fast. And if we're being real, the only thing that's slowing people down truly is fear. Fear of failure, fear of trying something, fear of it not working out. And we know that fear is louder than the truth, because what fear says is that you're not ready. What if you fail? What if it gets worse? But here's the thing, guys. Fear never tells you the whole story. It never says, what if staying where you are is the real danger, right? It doesn't say that. But here's the wild part. The wild part is that the world it rewards movers, not thinkers. We can all agree with that, right? Sniff and Scurry, the two characters in the book, they didn't sit around analyzing the problem. They didn't debate. They didn't wait for motivation. They moved. They made that change. And like I said, when I say learn to fail fast, you have to jump out there. You have to try it. Imagine when you go to the gym for the first time, right? You're like, oh, I'm about to get in here. I'm about to do my thing. You're not. The first day you go to the gym, you just got to get your body back used to it. You just got to get conditioned. You know how it is when you haven't ran in a long time and you try to go out there and run. You run right up the street and you're exhausted, and now you're walking. But the thing is, you got out there and you moved. And when you start moving, you get more conditioned, you get better. And because they moved, they got ahead. And that's the big goal. The big promise for this week is to make you guys make change, to make you guys move, to get ahead. And that's where most people misunderstand their own potential. Most people aren't lacking talent, like I said, they're lacking the movement. You ever notice the person that's winning isn't always the most gifted? I see it all the time with a lot of my other coaches. I'm like, how is he so successful? It doesn't seem like he's the most talented at what he does. He just knows something. And it's usually the person that just keeps moving, that keeps hitting roadblocks, because at the end of the day, it only takes one big win. As long as your wins outweigh the losses, that's all that matters. And your advantage isn't talent, it's the willingness. And that's what I want for you guys. And this is why your one decision can literally change everything for you. Your next level is one decision away. And what do I mean by that? Just like in the book, Hall's breakthrough wasn't luck. It was timing. It wasn't timing. It was choice when I think about it. It was a lot of times we're like, oh, well, I got to wait on the perfect time and I got to wait for that to happen. But no, it was the choice. It was a moment when he said, I can't stay here anymore. And some of you are just one decision away from a completely different life, a new income, a new identity, a new path. And once you make that decision, your whole perspective shifts. And that's what's so great. I love this book, guys. And if you don't build your own economy, you're always dependent on somebody else. And that's what I don't like about solely just having one income. Yesterday, when I said one income is too close to none, your job is not the villain, but it's also not your future. Your job is the funding for your dream. So if you're working, use that money instead of going out on the weekends. Take some of that money and say, hey, I'm going to put this into getting, my course mock-ups done. I'm going to put this into running some ads. I'm going to do my first webinar. I just need 10 people on there to talk to. So the thing you build, your brand, your course, your coaching, your skill set, that's going to be your new cheese. That's the new cheese that's going to help you guys out. And with that shift comes a new responsibility called execution. And what I mean by that is, as you guys go through this week and you start building out your deliverables, you start building out what your new $1 million message, which we're going to talk about tonight, that new responsibility is, I have to put this out to the world. I have to show the world that I have that. Your old mindset can't unlock your new life. It just can't. You cannot walk into a new level with the old version of yourself. And all you guys agree with that? You guys tracking? Does that make sense? Because in the book, Hall had to let go mentally before he moved physically. You can't upgrade your life if you don't upgrade your thinking. The mindset is very important. You have to look at things differently. And when you take the first step, something amazing happens. Motion. Motion builds momentum. And momentum builds belief. So in the book, Hall didn't start confident. He became confident as he moved. And every step made him stronger. Every step made him braver. And that is what works for you too. You don't need confidence to start. You need the confidence and gain the confidence to starting. So in closing, guys, Today's was simple. The things I want you guys to think about is stop waiting for the cheese to come back. Stop waiting for the perfect timing. Stop waiting for somebody to hand you clarity or permission. The world is moving. The economy is shifting. We all know that. Opportunities are evolving. The question is, are you moving with it? And if you apply this mindset shift today, I guarantee you guys, you'll start walking into day one tonight, already activated, already in motion, already choosing to bet on yourself. So that is the morning motivation for this morning, guys. I hope you guys got a lot of clarity on this. I want to make sure that everybody is in the school group. So I am going to drop the invite link one more time. Tonight, we have some special guests that are coming on the show tonight. Let me see if I can pull those up for you. Let's see. We've got Princess Dior, who's going to be talking. She's one of my clients in credit repair and funding, who's going to be talking about just her journey, how that's been for her getting into the digital game. We're going to learn from my guy, Victor Mason, who's going to be talking to you guys, who is a freight broker, the guy that's actually doing what I said yesterday of how you guys could be making an extra, 4,000 to 7,000 on average, 10K being his biggest month while working a job. Like I said, it's not about quitting the job. It's about using that job to fund the dream until it truly makes sense so that you guys have additional income. So ultimately, guys, tonight at 6:30 is question and answer. And I want to make sure everybody gets in the school group. Do we have any questions before we get out of here? If so, you can put those in the chat. I'm looking at it right now, but make sure to click the school group link. That's where all the replays are at. The homework is going to be at for tonight. See, Lionel just requested. I'm going to make sure I get you in. But ultimately, guys, thank you. Good morning. Let's crush the day. I will see you guys tonight at 6:30 for Q&A.